Welcome to the TMC Newsroom. Rich Tarani here. Thanks for watching us today. We're at Interop 2012. We're in Las Vegas, Nevada. On our program is Preston. He is the president and CEO of Reflex Systems. Preston, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I thought we'd start by talking about what your company does.
Yeah, Rich, we're a software provider for large enterprise customers who are trying to get a better handle on efficiently running their virtual infrastructure and building out private clouds.
So that sounds like a great business to be in right now with all the talk of private clouds and just the move to private clouds.
Yeah, the timing seems good. So there's a lot of talk in the marketplace, certainly a fair amount of money being spent in different areas of the cloud market, private and public for that matter. But the large enterprise customers are really trying to get a lot more efficiency and agility out of these very large investments they made in VMware and Red Hat and Microsoft on the virtualization side. So, companies like us, it's a pretty good opportunity.
So in terms of the competitive market, where do you see your company fitting in?
So, we really are quite focused on the enterprise market at the very high end. So we do a lot of business with large financial institutions, a handful of large retailers, healthcare companies. Competitively, we see a lot of the players in the space trying to solve management problems for virtual infrastructure for smaller companies. Bigger companies have larger problems. They're more difficult to solve, requires a lot more investment on the technology side from a development engineering perspective. And we really focus on two specific things. We work very hard to drive large scale features. So if you've got thousands upon thousands, even tens of thousands of virtual machines in your environment, we're a good fit for that kind of customer. And we designed from the ground up to be a completely integrated solution. So the market is full of point products that solve very specific problems for virtualization administrators. We provide a solution that is really a much more broad platform that provides 5, 6, 7 different major categories of functionality that let that administrator pare down the number of tools they're using in the environment so that they have one technology that handles about 80% of the workload for what they need to do day to day.
Now, in terms of what's happening at this event, what have you seen so far?
We've been really pleased with the number of. We typically spend our time at virtualization-focused events, so VMworld, other very specific cloud types of conferences. But the data center people are becoming a lot more involved in the buying process and in the design process for the private cloud. So I've been really pleased with the number of conversations that we've had with guys who are not directly responsible for running virtual environments, but have a real interest in understanding things that help them migrate to a private cloud environment. So we weren't really sure when we came whether or not that would be the case, and been very pleased to find that out.
So if you think of just the future of private clouds, what kinds of trends are you seeing that can maybe shine some light on where the private cloud market is going?
Yeah, so one of the major things is that the IT departments and these enterprise companies for the first time are competing against outside entities for business, so to speak. So
like an Amazon EC2
you
or
got
something
it.
like
Yeah.
that.
So any of these public cloud providers where a business unit who has budget responsibility can go and swipe a credit card online and spin up a few virtual machines in the cloud to run an application or set up a new business, so to speak. Now the IT guys are in some ways kind of fighting for their existence a little bit because they have to be able to match the same level of agility and speed to get their customer, who's the business unit or application owner, the same types of resources, same guaranteed levels of performance, things of that nature. So a lot of these guys are really designing to try to make sure they maintain their position as the sole provider.
What about things like security, compliance, those kinds of issues that companies have to deal with?
There are definitely issues there, more so on the public cloud side, which is why you haven't seen more true enterprise adoption of the public cloud. The private cloud, a little less so because they have more control over what's going on in the infrastructure. We as a company actually come from an IT security background. So one of the things that we chose to do early on was include a security-oriented feature set into the overall solution to help us make sure we can solve some of those problems to make that private cloud migration a little bit easier. But it's coming along. The technologies that provide security and control are slowly moving toward a more virtualization and cloud-friendly deployment model, which is really the issue. The problems are the same as they were in the physical infrastructure, just the deployment model on how to efficiently solve them is different in the virtual world.
So what's next for Reflex?
So, for us, we're concentrating right now on some of the more interesting recent technology releases we've had. We've been very focused on increasing the level of data analytics associated with the platform. The administrator is really looking for more access to information so that they can really use that to move down the path to automating more functions in the infrastructure. And key differentiator for us is being able to provide very granular information and very customizable analytics to allow them to get very confident in the data they're receiving so that they can be confident in automating those features based off of that data. So we're going to continue to extend that feature set and look for more ways to help these guys really enable and automate that private cloud.
Thank you so much for being here.
No problem. Thank you, Rich.